You think up to 50% of working class jobs could be wiped out because of AI and robotics?
Yeah.
I mean, that's been a prediction from the leaders of some of the biggest companies in AI. I heard the leader of Anthropic recently say the same thing, that he thinks 50% of jobs could be wiped out. I think the shocking thing that we've talked a lot about in the show is just, there's been other sort of economic or industrial revolutions in the past that have caused for job displacement.
Yeah.
But none, I would argue, at this speed.
No, and none that can replace virtually everything. And see, there's a classic story I read back when I was talking about the global financial crisis, came out of the New York Times article where they went to interview workers in an air conditioning factory. And there was one woman they found there whose job it was to place a thermocouple inside the air conditioning units as they went past. So there's 3,000 of these going past her a day. She's just placing one of these thermocouples where it needs to go inside the circuitry of the air conditioning unit. And she said, you don't have to love your job as long as it pays you money. It was a totally boring job. That's all she's doing. The thing is, the reason she got that job was she couldn't make a machine to replace her because the air conditioning units don't necessarily end up precisely at the same point. To make a machine that would do that is really difficult. Now, if you train a robot on it, the robot perception can ultimately get to the point where the robot can place that piece inside there. That particular unskilled job disappears. So people who work in jobs like that no longer have a possibility of getting a job.
I think even, Anthropic released a report. Anthropic are the makers of Claude. They released a report saying that entry-level positions, they're seeing a 13% decline already in people getting those entry-level jobs. And actually, as an employer, someone that spends literally all last night, I was looking through our recruitment inboxes at candidates and talent. I have noticed myself changing. I've noticed that people that I would have given roles to maybe 6 months ago, I now have to think long and hard about whether there's going to be technology that can do those exact roles instead. And it was a really shocking thing. I was saying to the team last night at like 1 a.m. in the office, I was like, this is a prime example of a candidate. I was looking at this particular candidate that 6 months ago, I would have bitten their hand off. But now, I have to pause because my innovation team in the corner of the office, they're able to do that now with these AI agents instead. Yeah. And so I am, you hear a lot about the theoretical impact of AI.
But you're actually making the decision yourself.
And then it's theory. It's this thing on my Twitter feed, like blah, 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 whatever. You hear it on a podcast, you go blah, 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 whatever. And then you find yourself actually
behaving that way.
Your behavior is changing and you're going, oh, it's very hard to know the types of people to hire into our company. And I've kind of almost segmented them into these two groups where you've got people that have very deep expertise. Yeah. I'd say it's three groups. People that have very, very deep expertise on a particular thing. Like my CFO. Group number two, I'd say, are people that are AI proficient.
Who can actually handle this stuff and be the people who manage the agents.
Yes, and they can redesign our workflows across every department in the company to be agentic.